Hi, I'm Keela,
And I'm Ashley.
and we met on TikTok when our stories collided.
After we discussed our crazy, people wanted to tell us they're crazy.
So join us as we unpack a whole lot of crazy.
And we named this podcast after the one thing we definitely have in common, raising our mamas.
So welcome to Raising Barbara Jean and Wanda.
Do it, Keela.
Welcome back, bitches. We're here with Dania.
This is my high school friend. Middle school, high
Best
school
friend.
Yes,
Yeah,
best friend
forever.
And I'm like Lizzo. If I shine, you gonna shine. So if we get it,
Man,
make it big.
that
Dania's coming
part.
with me because she's the shit.
Listen, and I'm just watching
This
because
is
it's
part
a
two.
show.
We've already met.
This
We've
is the
already
best
met
show I've
Dania.
ever been to.
Dania.
So
this is part two
There
because
we
Y'all
go.
forget my double chin. It's just the lighting.
yeah, exactly. It's all Trent's fault for the lighting. Yeah.
Trent. Damn you, Trent.
This is part two of our crazy
God.
shenanigans and her raising her mom and her raising my mom and all the shit.
all of us raising each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, literally.
Yeah.
So when I lived in the trailer park before Mom went to jail, we didn't have a phone or cable or probably electricity. So all of my phone calls had to go to Dania's house, and then she would keep a notepad with
I
like my
drove
messages.
8.4 miles.
Yes, she
and
literally
would
did. So
deliver
she
them.
was going to a modeling search thing.
Yeah. John Casablanca or some shit my mama signed me up for. And this is how fucked up she was. She signed me up for it and then wanted to come to me like I was chosen.
Yeah.
She done paid $1,499 for this year program. And by 2 weeks of it, I'm like, Mom, I'm done with this shit. And she's like, but you're chosen, line, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I would never.
So
We paid for that.
So
Sorry.
she comes to my house. The driveway's like sitting real far up, and the trailer's like sitting down because it's a trailer park. And she gets out of the car, and she's like, "Oh my God, bitch, Dylan called," which is like the apple of my eye at this time. And she goes to fall, and she's like head over feet. She's like. It was almost like she playing this somersault shit. And I'm just standing there like, she's falling and falling. And then she hits her head on the trailer and she jumps up. And she's like, Dylan called. And I'm like, are you okay? And like, do you have a brain injury? That was like, her pantyhose was fucked. Like, grass stains were-
Everywhere I went, I took 2 pairs of hose.
Yeah, and I said, you're going to that, because I was going
to.
to the modeling search with her to be her, comfort.
You was getting paid for it too, motherfucker. You
Yeah,
ain't
but
no
I didn't
better.
know. I didn't know. I thought I was just going to be her support
We did not
until.
know.
What'd
So-
you get paid for?
Oh, well, so we pick up Dania's mom's boss, who's this big time attorney. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm taking Dania to this modeling search, whatever. We may get Ashley to do it too.
I think
And
Ashley got chosen and I didn't. Didn't you get picked?
I did get picked, but you got picked too.
Did I get picked?
So I'm like, whoa. First of all, my clothes probably ain't even clean. Bitch, they probably mildewed as shit because they've been laying in the dirty clothes. Like, I was not excited. I thought I was going for comfort for Dania. So we go to somewhere in Nashville, and there's these long lines of all these girls, and there's this table, and they said if you get a
It's
card.
like American Idol.
Yes. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Because her boss is like, make Dania's friend go with you, go up there too. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, I'll pay for her. And I'm like, oh God, I don't even know what the hell. I was not dressed for this. So we go up there, and basically they just said, turn around, and then and they would give you a card. So they gave us a card, but come to find out we had to pay like $5,000 to go to Atlanta.
I'm pretty sure you wore your school picture outfit.
I'm pretty
that
sure I did
day.
too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was yeah, I'm pretty sure. It
But
was.
Dania went to the Atlanta. They paid
Oh
the
yeah,
money.
we went down there. We paid the money.
She
and,
even look, this is so cute of her mom. She even brought it back to my mom, like, your daughter can go to Atlanta for like $1,200. She was like, bitch, I ain't seen $1,200 since tax time. Like, the fuck?
We went down there too, and I did my little walk or whatever. I didn't get picked. Fuck them bitches. You talk about being humbled, buddy.
Yeah.
And my mom and my stepdad got into it super bad that night. She had too much drink with dinner.
Yeah.
My mom was good to a certain point, and then once she went past that point, you couldn't fuck with her at all. Don't look at her the wrong way. If she's had too much to drink, you can't. And I remind myself.
Oh,
a lot
yeah, for
of my
sure. No,
mom,
I do too.
Like the older I get, we were in Vegas 2 weeks ago, and Amber looked at me and like, y'all, we went to the old Vegas because you can't bet worth a fucking Vegas. Okay, it's like $50 a hand minimum.
Oh.
And I guess it was March Madness or whatever.
Oh.
So we go to Old Vegas just so we can have fun. And I'm walking through the crowd and I'm double fisting and I'm feeling myself. And Amber looks at me and she's like, bitch, you're going home. we're going back to the hotel now. You are done. Because I'm me mugging everybody. I can't. It's
Once
all
I get
over.
there.
Once I get there, it's all over my face. I'm annoyed. You got your children out here extorting the shit out of them. There's fucking live steaks.
And she about to tell you about
and
yourself.
asses out everywhere. Woman, put some fucking clothes on. Like, it was.
Yeah.
It's,
You about to tell somebody about yourself.
And that's so weird how,
Yeah.
like, when you get, and it reminds me a lot of my mom, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
I used to be like that before Prozac. Thank you, Prozac.
Thank you. Fluoxetine.
Yes. My
we got a
kids-
sponsor.
My
Hey,
kids,
if you're
yes.
on
Prozac,
sponsor.
raise your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Give us a like if you're on Prozac and subscribe and send it
Yes.
to all your other Prozac loving.
Hey, Prozac saved my life.
Mine
I say
too.
that all the time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep. It's been the best.
And it saved my husband's life.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It-
And my
it equals
kids.
things out.
Yes.
Mine
I
was after my
treated
kids, but yeah,
for
my husband.
depression and anxiety, and it got to the point to where I depended more on my depression medicine than my anxiety medicine, which is a huge step for anybody that has addiction in their family.
Right,
Because
yes.
as they'll tell you, the anxiety medicine's like a bullet or a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's immediate relief. You got to worry about getting addicted, etc. Whereas your antidepressant's more like
Yes. It's slow and it
levels you
takes
out.
time. Yes.
Yeah, I ain't give a shit about a benzo, but hey, I need that Prozac. Please keep me
Yes.
on my levels.
Yes. I don't care what we got to do.
Agreed.
Speaking of being an addict, when I got put on ADHD medicine, which was Adderall, I immediately spazzed out because I was like, oh my God, am I going to sell all my furniture for meth? And they were like, what? So my husband's insurance gave us like one free psychiatrist appointment or whatever. So I get this psychiatrist appointment and I'm like, do you think I'm going to sell all my sell all my furniture for meth? And he was like, why would you do that? And I was like, well, because I'm from a long line of addicts and I know that Adderall can be sold and traded and all this. And I was like, what's the likelihood? And he was like, well, do you need it? And I was like, yeah, and it's amazing and it works. And that's what scares me. And he's like, I don't think you're going to sell your furniture. And I was like, yeah, but what is the, like, statistically,
Now you're like, bitch, I'll break your hand if you look
right.
at my Adderall.
Yes. And I'm like, it works, but that scares me. Like, am I going to like this? And he was like, okay, I think you have an unhealthy relationship with drugs because you call them drugs and they're actually medicine. And I was like, oh. And I said, well, I mean, it's called the drugstore. And he was like, yeah, there's a difference. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry about that. So turns out I've been on it for like 3 years and I've never sold a piece of furniture for it. So
I mean,
yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I will say my daughter's on Adderall, and
Yeah.
we didn't start medicating until after COVID because COVID fucked the kids up. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
It's just like she didn't want to do anything. I mean, it took all of her motivation, and there was nothing like trying to find Adderall as a parent during the Adderall
Yes.
shortage.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would have, I literally told a pharmacist one day, do you know what it's like?
Yes.
Being ready to fight somebody here for whatever refill of Adderall you have
Right.
left. Because, I mean, especially at that point, because when you see that it actually does work and it actually does,
Yes.
the focus is there. And we tried other things. She tried Vyvanse. We had
Yes.
to get this whole,
Oh, you have to go through the steps.
Yeah, you have to go through the
Yeah.
steps with your insurance company, and it was such a pain in the
Vyvanse
ass.
didn't work.
Vyvanse did not work.
Really?
Didn't
My
even
friend, it
touch
didn't work for her either. She doesn't like Adderall either, though.
Yeah.
She likes Focalin, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing coming from a line of addiction. Like I was so literally, the doctor had to look at me and be like, "This could be assisting your child, and you don't want to do it. So let's try it." Like I had to be told to do it because I was
Right.
like, "No, I don't want my kid taking that shit."
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just because I've had issues, broken family, addiction.
Oh, yeah.
I come from all of that, so it's like I didn't want to
Absolutely.
influence her that way, but it works.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it works.
I hate to always have to go to medicine, but some of that shit works.
Yes.
And some of it don't. And some of it leads to other stuff and whatever, but it works. And if you take it right and I don't take mine every day, only take it when I need it or like I take it when I work. And I mean, I will take it when I'm at home if I want to get shit done. Cause
Yeah.
if not, I'm doom scrolling.
I'm trying to clean the house.
Exactly. I'm doom scrolling if not, and I'm just in this like state of paralysis where I'm like, can't get anything done because I don't know. My executive function is all way off. I literally, I still do this, but before that, I would ask my husband, I'm like, okay, so what do I do? So what do we need to do today? And he would say this, and I'd say, okay, what do I do first? Because I don't know, and I can't put it in order of importance because it's all equal to me.
Right. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's all on the same level. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
so overwhelming as shit.
And I you could pay this electric bill that's going to get your lights cut off, or you could clean the light fixture. And I'm like, I'm going to clean that because I might get a little dopamine off the light fixture. And he's like, bitch, the lights. So thank God I have him because if not, the lights will be cut off because I'm over here like, deep cleaning or, stuck in some rabbit hole of God knows what. But he literally will say, you need to do this first and then this and then this. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
I mean, it's a true thing.
It really is.
I mean, that's why we never had water when Brian and I first started dating.
I mean,
I never paid my water bill.
People always.
Because I could go turn it on myself.
Yes. We got this shit.
Only a couple. Hey,
bitch.
but a couple times they will put a lock on that shit.
They figure it out. Like, how the fuck is your meter running, Keela? That shit is disconnected.
We turned this off 4 times. Your balance is negative $795.
About the third time they come out, look, it was bad. My husband would come home from working all day in the sun, hot as hell.
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, you just have to jump in the pool.
I mean, I get it. And people think that, like, I got with Hagen and he has all this money. He doesn't. And he doesn't make more money. You probably make more money than him.
Well, here's the thing. Hagen is very responsible.
Oh, very much so.
With
And
his money.
and that's why people are like, oh, just think he makes
Because
millions.
he knows what's important and what falls down.
Yes. And he says, you can't order Team U until your car insurance is paid. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. He's like, no more boutique outfits show up until you pay the light bill. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Because I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. It's in there, so I'm gonna spend it or it's not. I'm not a big spender, but like but I'll nickel and dime the shit.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that's literally me. Today, Keela has gave me this job to do, and she was like, don't forget to sign the contract. And so I signed the contract, and then I was like, I'm just going to watch one more episode. Then I was like, no, bitch, get up. You don't need to watch Murder in the Heartland. You've already,
Not Murder in the Heartland.
you've watched 2 seasons. Yes. And I was like, then I'm going to get on this. And then Hagen called, and then listen to this. As spastic as I am and as ADHD, he calls me and says, I booked our flight in September under your name. The fuck? So you need to call because you can get 16,000 points if you change our flight to the. I'm like, literally, like, I'll sell my car right now to keep from having to call Southwest and change this flight. I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to say.
Where the hell y'all going, Disney?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We're taking the babies this time. But yes.
that'll
Yeah.
be
But I'm like, hey, gang.
Disney or Universal?
Universal. But
Why won't y'all go somewhere else? Hagen!
I know. He's obsessed.
Hagen, we're going on a cruise.
Yes, I do.
You can go on a cruise. It's all inclusive, and you got babysitters.
I know. We're going in December, so if y'all want to go, we're taking a big ass trip in December.
See, I want to go to Disney just because, like.
Oh no, not for that. We're going on a cruise in December.
Oh,
yeah.
are you?
Yeah, I'll let you know the deets. But yeah, he's like, you got to call Southwest and change it because you'll get 16,000 miles back or something. And I'm like, you literally just talked brain surgeon. Like, I have no idea what you just said. And he's like, well, just call them. And I'm like, oh my God, why would you do this to me? And he's like, well, because you had more points or whatever. And I'm like, so then I called him later and I was like, wait, you get off early tomorrow. So can I call them on speakerphone and you can tell me what to say? Because no, you don't want me doing that shit. I'll have other flights planned, extra people on it, or deleted people. They'll have me upgraded on the damn, like I'm in first class. I don't even think Southwest has first class. I'm sitting in the damn cockpit. And I done took all my flight points. And Hagen and the kids are up. Nope, they're not going because she done used ours to be a co-pilot.
At least you know that.
Yes.
Hey,
And I'm like, and you know that I know that. Don't you ever put me in this position again.
That's
So, yes.
The first time I traveled with work, because, I'm not used to traveling with work.
Yes.
Since I've got out of the legal industry and got into the barge industry, I actually get to do cool shit.
Yes.
It feels really awesome. So,
Did you say bar or barge?
Barge.
So, yeah,
It was bar at first and now barge. No.
Towboats.
Yes.
We push stuff. We are the largest tow line in North America. We just acquired a new company. So,
You think they'll sponsor our podcast?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, we'll
We'll
call
work on
marketing.
that.
Well, I'll
We'll
have
work on
Hagen
that.
call marketing tomorrow.
But anyway, so I started traveling with work. So one of the first trips I went on, y'all, I was so excited. I got to go to New Orleans, right? And I'm going with directors, and I'm an executive assistant. So my boss he's big up there, and he goes out of town and all this stuff. But I work amongst a bunch of directors and managers and people that have been in that role for 10, 15 years. So my dumb ass gets in there and books at Business Select because I was told when I'm booking flights for the people I work for, I always book Business Select, right?
Yeah.
So my dumb ass shows up to the
But
airport.
you were supposed to be in the stowaway.
But I
underneath
mean,
the plane.
obviously, I'm an
Right.
executive assistant. Like I should be like at least an E.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I go, and this was my first work trip, y'all. So I wore heels and a hat, and I looked like motherfucking Carmen Sandiego up in that bitch. Y'all, when I tell y'all, oh my God, I was feeling myself until I got to the airport and took about 5 steps in that motherfucker, and I was like, oh, I'm a dumb bitch. I should have wore flats. I should have wore flip flops, anything but these fucking shoes. And then I got screened at security because of the damn hat. I mean, they thought I had shit in my hat. It was awful. Okay, it was awful. But I get
Not
to the
that
gate.
you're getting strip search over that.
I get to the gate, okay, and I see all these directors and such because it's an industry week, at
Right.
work. So there's other people from work on this flight to go to New Orleans, So I'm walking up, Carmen Sandiego, hey, what's up? And they're like, now boarding A1 through A15. Bitch, why am I should say A1?
She's
With
in
all
front
the
of
people I work with. They're like, this bitch has been here with us for 3 weeks. And she is in the A1.
She's
Are
in the
you
cockpit.
fucking serious? So it was like all of my boss's privileges just came down pouring on me.
They're all
in
sitting
front
behind
of my
her.
coworkers. And they're like, this bitch.
They're like, her
who does
bosses
she
are
even
sitting
think
behind
she
her. They're
is?
like,
yes. So I was pissed about it on the way there, y'all. But by the time I got to New Orleans, we had our week. I'd had time to forget about it. You know what I'm saying? So here comes Friday morning for the way home. Okay. So I
They're
show
like,
up.
we got you a Greyhound, bitch.
Y'all, everybody got robbed in New Orleans.
Oh.
While we were at yes, everybody's phones got stolen. There was a gang of people that came up from Miami.
Was
I
it Fuck
shit
the
you not.
Police gang?
It could have been. When I tell you, I shit you not. They got caught. That's how we know because they got caught. Okay.
Oh my God.
Everybody I work with got robbed that night. Guess who didn't get robbed, y'all?
Carmen?
Me and my boss. My boss, y'all, when I tell y'all, he was throwing tips at the band because he loves Metallica and Megadeth
Yeah.
and all this crazy ass shit. So the bandits were behind our whole work group. So by the time we all get back to the hotel, everybody's checking their stuff. They ain't got no phones. They ain't got wallets. They ain't got nothing. Me and my boss, we tumble in. We're plentiful. We got everything. Because I'm standing there like Don Corleone up in this.
Just, she's like, a A1 bitch.
Hey, well, and I didn't even drink like that because
It's
it's my
'cause you can-
first.
you-
Right, it's a work trip.
It's
It's a
because
work trip.
you can see it coming.
Right, and
You're-
I'm taking this seriously. You
Yeah.
know, like
You're
I'm ready
very-
to throw down. Like I said, when I get, hey, it's time to go.
She's like, I've got $250 worth of monogram shit. I cannot lose this
I'm
job.
not. Okay, I'm not doing it. I bought all this stuff to make me look like I got my shit together. Do
Right.
you want to get whooped by somebody in a monogram? I don't think so.
No, you
Stay
don't.
the fuck back.
Exactly, because they got attorneys on speed dial. Go ahead.
On speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, retainer.
At what point
So
did they
we-
start blaming you for everybody getting robbed?
Oh no. Here's
She was the hero.
I was
You
the
gotta be
hero.
She done set us up.
No, because my boss is chief commercial officer, and he made it out with all his stuff, and I was on him like white on rice all night.
That's
So
funny.
you know what I'm saying? So the next morning, I mean, people were still in the lobby upset because these people traveled from New
Yeah.
Orleans here. They don't have their IDs. They can't even get on their flights.
How did it get stolen?
They
From their back?
pickpocketed it?
From people just pickpockets.
Oh, pickpocket.
Yes,
Okay,
because
okay.
we're in New
Holy
Orleans. I mean,
shit.
it's pickpocket.
Oh,
the
yeah.
world. The reason my stuff didn't get stolen is because I had a suit jacket on. I had my purse. It was actually that Coach purse right there over my shoulder, and the suit jacket over my purse.
Yes.
So it served as like a.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can.
I
think
wore
Of.
my purse in front of me when I was in
Yes.
New Orleans.
You got to be careful of that shit. So anyway, so the next morning, it's
You think
Friday
that's because
morning.
we don't trust people?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I made Aniston walk in front of me because I was like, "They're not getting you for sex trafficking.
No,
They're not
it's-
stealing your ass
Y'all,
today."
It's so and it's really like that. down
Yeah,
there.
it's for
Like,
real.
Scary.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the next morning, people are still in the lobby, like filling out police reports and shit. I'm down here. I'm catching my 6 a.m. flight, and I get back to the airport. I got my blanket and everything. You know, I'm ready to go. And they're like, call boarding for A1 through A15. And I'm like, motherfucker again, you know? And so I'm trying to lag back, you know? I'm trying to wait for the B's and the C's. So I don't, and they're like, oh no, ma'am, you literally have the first seat. You have all the leg room. Y'all,
Oh my God.
I was still drunk, okay? I will say that. I was still a little bit drunk. So I went and I covered up with my blanket and I went to sleep. And that was my first work trip. And, you know, and they may have not liked me.
I was gonna say, was it awkward in the board meetings like afterwards?
So, no, and this is the only reason why is because we get back to town and on Monday morning, everybody receives an email with me CC'd and the bandits,
Oh.
the New Orleans Police Department caught them,
Oh.
put them in the paper, and they recognized them from the club that we were at when we were listening to karaoke. So it became this like, holy shit, we remember them. And they were like, holy shit, we were there. And they were like, holy shit, you made it out, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of
You're like, I'm from the hood, bitch.
I'm like,
I've
I'm
been doing this
trying.
street shit.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's not happening.
Like,
on
this
my
slick
watch.
shit ain't gonna work
Not
on me.
No, it's not happening. So,
And your boss is like, that's why she's my damn
pretty
assistant.
much, yeah, we,
And she sits in A1, bitch.
A1. So now, now I have to keep in mind whenever I'm booking my flights, like, do not get yourself a damn CEO seat. I'll be up in there with the owner of JetBlue, and I'm like, he's like, so what do we have in common here? And I'm like, shit, I don't know what do we have in common.
You're like, well, I'm an
We're
assistant.
from
My
the street.
my boss has a lot in common with you. Yeah,
But
He's
yeah,
like,
so
I ain't ever flew JetBlue.
right. That's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, man. I'm sure it. Well, and also I wrecked my car the first couple of weeks in the parking garage.
This does
too.
not surprise me, but tell me.
How many cars did you wreck? Sorry.
Man,
Everyone she's owned.
dude, she's
I'm
not
sorry.
lying. She's not lying. I was backing out of my parking spot. It was Halloween, and one of the directors was coming around in his BMW.
Not the
M3,
director hits you.
M3 2012. They don't even make the parts for it anymore, so it's like collector's edition. And I back into him, y'all, and I'm thinking it's got to be his fault because he's moving. I'm just backing up, but he's driving, right? But like Ashley said, benefit of the doubt, right? So when his insurance called me and was like, "So you backed into him?" I was like, "Well, technically," and they were like, "But you backed into him," and I was like, "Well, maybe okay." So I backed into him, and okay, so
They're like, he owns this insurance company, bitch, and you're like,
total loss. I had to pay them. I found out the exact number actually a couple of weeks ago, and it makes me nauseous because that's why my insurance now is as high as it is. But yeah, that was literally within the first week.
it's like have you seen that?
Hold on.
Well, at least
Hold up,
you didn't
when
get
did this
fired.
happen?
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh god.
One time
Bad.
Dania pulled into
Sorry.
the car park
Insurance is
place.
So crazy. Right
No,
now.
it's awful.
Oh boy.
One time Dania pulled into the car park place for like an oil change, and they ended up having to take her to work because she needed brakes, tires, front end. They were like, "Ma'am, we cannot let you drive away."
It's a liability. Your
We're gonna
car's
get
already
sued.
pulled in.
And she called us, and she was like,
I'm like, ain't this about a bitch?
"Yes." They were like, "Man, we literally cannot let you leave." She was like, "I'm just here for an oil change." And they were like, "You don't even have a motor anymore. You left that shit." But
Your
luckily,
Cadillac converters left
her
back
mama,
They're
her
like,
mama
"Well,
had
who's
got an
paying for
inheritance.
it?"
Her mama got an inheritance and was like, "Just tell them to do it." And she was like, "Thank God." I was like, "You're gonna have to just call your loan company and be like, bitch, you're gonna have to ask whatever 5-minute oil change to start paying you." But remember that? You remember?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many times actually. I mean, I literally and like like my mom. That's one thing I will give my mom. My mom's a clutch mom. Like when she ain't got it, she ain't got it.
Yeah.
and you know not to ask. But by God, there's been some times.
Yeah, I thought
you
they
know.
were gonna have to keep her car for like weeks, and like she was gonna have to drive the tow truck for
mean-
a couple days. They were like, yeah, no." That was probably one of the times. Like I remember when you because we would talk every morning on her way to work, or like all four of us would talk, and she's like, "I'm gonna drop my car off for oil change." She called back, she's like, "They kept my car."
So
I
there
was
was
like,
one time I overwent a lease. And so y'all ever leased a car? Anybody here ever
No.
leased a
No.
car?
I haven't.
Okay, well I tried that dumb shit. Don't ever do it.
No, it's actually a fine way to do it.
No,
just
you
gotta
just
do it.
look, Trent. Okay,
just have
nobody
to, like-
listen
He's
to
got his
Trent
shit
if you
together.
want to.
He grew up normal.
I see that. Well, let's just say
He
this.
has an 800 credit score.
he was born with it.
I had went through a divorce, right? And I looked down on my little Toyota Camry. I got brand new off the lot. I leased it, and I'm like 12,000 miles over, right? And I'm past the 3-year date, and I just went through my divorce. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pull up. Feel the temperature at the Toyota dealership. You know what I'm saying? We can see like
See how they come out like, "Bitch, we've been looking for
We've been
you."
tracking you this whole time. So I pull up, right? I get out. I'm like under the skies that I'm looking for a new car.
Right.
As
Oh
I am.
God.
You don't know if there's a radar on
Because
her.
how would they know
Hold
that
on.
that was their car?
I mean, how would they know?
Hang on,
Because
hang
I
on,
because
hang
they had
on.
shit before.
Because every
I got a
morning they're like,
question.
Well, Trent, give me something good here.
What dealership? Is
Beeman
it?
Toyota.
Okay,
Go to
that's-
hell, Beeman
It's,
Toyota.
yeah, all right.
because every
100%.
morning when they did their little thing, they were like, "We're still
Holy-
looking for the silver Camry."
So yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna feel the temperature of the situation.
Little temperature
So
check.
I pull up. I'm talking to this guy. He lets me drive around to Lexus. That son of a bitch
Has no idea.
no idea, no fucking idea.
Oh, my
So
God.
I see this. Like I said, he drove me around to
my
Lexus.
gosh.
It was probably
My
like
face hurts.
$36,000, so way out of my budget.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
We're
They're
struggle
like,
bus.
keep her
Yes.
entertained for a
Right.
minute.
So he takes me
They're
to the
checking the
thing
VIN number. Oh
to
my
talk
God.
about this Lexus, and he's
They're
like,
like,
what
do you have a buy here, pay here part?
he's like, what exactly are you in? And I'm like, oh, well, I got my Camry out front. Actually, it's funny.
It's
that
y'all's
you-
Camry.
that you asked because I leased it, and I'm just a little bit over. My 3 year was like 3 months ago. I was going through a divorce.
You were honest with
Oh,
him.
3 months
Oh,
isn't
so
that
honest,
bad,
so
actually.
honest. So he goes back and he says, "Oh man, we can put you can take home that Camry. We can put you in this Lexus. We can do anything for you. I just need you, fill out the little credit application. We'll take it right to."
A little credit out. Pretty
Y'all,
crucial.
this motherfucker comes back and he says, "Ma'am, your credit is 514."
Give me the keys to your car.
Oh, he didn't have time. He didn't have time.
Oh, you took
So
off?
He tells me.
Stop it.
He says,
Stop it.
"Ma'am, not only can we not finance you for another car, but we can't sell you this one," because that's what I was going to do. I was over on the mileage, so to get out of
Yes.
the mileage fees,
Yep.
just sell it outright. I'll
Yeah.
finance it. Well, I can't get financed because I got a 514. So y'all, my ass was like, took off in that Camry.
You ran?
I ran like a motherfucker. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have another car, y'all. Like, what am
I'm
I gonna
dead.
do?
She's like, I
I
gotta go to the
mean-
bathroom.
I was like, oh, I'm so sorry for wasting your time.
That's
Get the fuck outta here.
incredible.
Went, found me a new car, dropped that bitch off with the keys in the front.
Yeah.
Was like, do something. Do something now.
Exactly. Hey, I was going through a divorce and I had to refinance my car because I done got too far behind on payments, and they was like, we're trying to take it. And I was like, take it. And then he was like, well, I'm trying to work with you. So I go to the bank to refinance it, and everything goes smoothly. And he goes, do you have car insurance? And I was like, no. And he was like, you can't leave until you have car insurance. I'm like, I have no one. I had to call my ex-mother-in-law and go, will you please buy me car insurance? We just sit in the and I had my sister held hostage in the car.
I've had this. I've
Yeah.
sold cars before. This is a real thing.
Yes, and we're sitting in the bank parking lot, and like they close at 4, and I'm like, we have an hour to get car insurance. I don't even have money for car insurance, but I'm like, but I can work tomorrow and the next day and pay you back. And of course, my ex mother-in-law was like, okay, like she has no clue, but she's the only one I know's got a debit card because none of my family's got a checking account. So I'm like. And so my sister's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. We were gonna run up here and get this. And we were held hostage in the parking lot for 3 hours till I got car insurance. Yeah. Then I owed my ex-mother-in-law, which was also a shit show trying to change it over because she used her debit card to
Oh
get
my
it started.
gosh, what a-
And then,
oh my
yeah, it was
gosh, yeah.
but after I got it, after I left, I was like, bitch, let that shit cancel. I just trying to get out of here. I just wanted to go home. Like my kid's daycare's fixing me calling. Like,
I swear we were like in our 20s when they made it. to
Yeah.
where you had to have
Yeah.
insurance, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing when
Right,
we were like
correct.
16,
Yes.
17.
And I
Oh,
never
I
thought about
smash
that.
and
I thought
dash,
they were going to be
man.
like so proud of me for coming in there to like refinance my car, and so they didn't have to repo it. And they were like,
my
"So do you have car insurance?" I'm like, "No, I don't even have lights. Like I'm barely hanging onto that." And they were like, "Yeah, you can't leave." And I'm like, "The
That was my
fuck?"
mama's last bill. She never would pay the car insurance.
Yeah, I never
She didn't
did.
realize that rule that
Yeah.
you had.
Yes.
My
Hey, now you
stepdad
can't
be
get your
like,
tax.
"Damn."
In Hickman
Yeah.
County, you can't get your tax if you don't have car insurance.
Oh, that sucks. I think I want to say it's like that in Wilson too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why when we wrecked the truck last year, I thought gap insurance meant that you were insured from the time you left the car lot
That's what it is
Oh.
supposed to mean.
to like
doesn't it?
Monday because it
No.
fell off after you
Gap
had
is for
insurance.
the value
I
of the
need
car.
you to keep your commentary to yourself over. I hear you talk about, oh my God.
We're all pitiful. we have no.
Have insurance.
And I'm like, I don't need Gap. I have
Just
Allstate.
Oh
She said, I have Allstate. Isn't that the one with the dreams and the thing?
Well, because I didn't know you needed Gap
She's like,
insurance.
we don't need American Eagle insurance. I have.
I'm not going to be doubly insured.
Y'all ever called the general and got a quote? That
No.
motherfucker's disappointing. Don't do it.
No, I always had to go with like what are those ones that like will take the
SR22.
Yeah, the DUI
They do.
people.
They do. They're sorry asses.
Yeah,
Insurance
direct.
be $700 a
Yeah,
month.
$3,000 down. I'm like, bitch, I didn't pay that much for the car. How you gonna ask for $3,000 down?
Man.
Like the car ain't worth but $1,200.
That is a
It's
true.
such a hustle, man. That is a hustle.
Yes.
But gap insurance is important.
Yes,
is.
and I didn't know what gap insurance was either, Keela, until I needed it.
It
Until I
covers
needed
the
it.
gap.
Yes,
That's
I've
what
never.
Oh my
They've asked me every time, and I'm like, no, I don't need Gap insurance.
Yes, you
You're like,
do.
All Star opens tomorrow, or what?
I'm like,
Allstate
I
opens
have
tomorrow.
Allstate.
12 hours
They'll
will be
cover
fine.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it was just from the time that you were insured during that time you bought the car till
Yeah.
Monday when your insurance people opened.
I don't even think they asked me, which they ought to be all sued.
Don't ever
Fuckers.
say no to Gap insurance.
No,
just an
no.
FYI.
When I wrecked my
That might be
car,
the title of this episode.
That $7.
Yes.
$7.
not American
Do the
Eagle
damn-
insurance.
Do the damn $7.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I had no idea what it was
Because
either
if
until I needed
not,
it.
you might as well go put your hand on the table and bend over.
Yep.
Speaking of insurance, we was at a resort one time in Mexico. I caught sand fleas on the way home. It was the worst experience of my whole entire fucking life. But that's a whole nother story.
It's gonna be Gap insurance and sand fleas.
So y'all, this is hilarious. So we wanted to do. I wanted to do a kayak in the ocean for what reason?
course,
I don't know. Just
right.
some country, and I was drunk. It was all inclusive. I had
so you could say you
16
did.
margaritas that day.
Yeah.
So I take my 11-year-old at the time out into the ocean with the kayak, and we're out there, and we're doing. And y'all, we make it maybe literally like 45 seconds before we do a full collapse in the kayak. The oars go every which way. I'm like, Kennedy's drowning. I'm drowning. We're both drowning. And the guys on shore, I'm like, sure, they're gonna come help
They
us,
care about their
right?
canoes, probably.
They're like, hey,
They
you
think you're
okay
waving?
out there, and I'm like, bitch, I'm dying, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, you're fixing to have to pay us $650 for that kayak when you lose it out to sea because you dumbass wanted to go out there and kayak in the ocean. And yeah, on my way back to shore, I walked through. Well, it was. Seaweed, but it's like a special Mexican seaweed, I guess. Like, I don't
Not the
fucking know.
special Mexican
It's
seaweed.
Special Mexican seaweed. Y'all, I thought the ladies in my room, I thought I didn't tip enough. Maybe they put, lice in my shit or
Yes.
bed bugs or whatever. I came home and I went to the emergency room and everything over that, but it was sand fleas. I went to the emergency room and they gave me a pamphlet over fucking chiggers. $1,300 to
You're like,
TriStar
bitch, I know chiggers.
for a pamphlet over chiggers, but y'all, I thought I was dying. I thought I literally
okay,
had like a.
but let's go back to it. Did you have to pay $600 for the kayak?
I did not. I saved it. I
And
saved the
y'all-
oars.
And y'all had life jackets on, right?
She had 16 margaritas, so I'm
no.
going to say no.
No life jackets. No. The resort wasn't too terribly worried about the safety. They just wanted their insurance money, okay?
Yes.
And I don't think I
Life
checked the insurance
jackets and
waiver
Gap
either.
You're right.
insurance. Gosh
Trent's
damn
like,
it.
you left the shore without life jackets. Like,
Yeah,
bitch,
pretty
we
much.
barely even had our kid.
Man, I didn't even, I was so happy I saved her.
insurance, Gap insurance and life jackets.
Listen,
Yeah.
there's,
Just do it.
there's nothing
God.
like
I love
taking
y'all.
poor people and giving them a tax
little-
or income tax check.
Yes,
or a
or
little bit
of
taking them
money.
to all-inclusive
Yes.
resort or on a
Yes.
cruise.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, we ain't
This
got no
is-
sense.
Hell no.
Uh-uh.
And we learned how to swim in creeks.
Right.
We jumped off of rope swings and
Yes.
shit. We Tarzan
And we like
was
clawed
like,
up
They
cow
don't-
shit to
those-
get
Hell
to
yeah.
the.
Those don't have currents very
Well,
much.
they do have currents. We were faster than the
creeks have
but they
way
weren't so
cur-
wide. You
currents.
know,
Water moccasins. Are
there was
you
a really
serious?
there was a really good chance
Yeah,
you'd be able to
but
touch
it's
the
like
side.
the ocean. Like,
Yeah.
We don't play games with the
Well, we know
ocean.
that now, Trent. Where were you
Okay.
at 10 years ago?
I'm just trying
when we
to
were
help.
drowning
I'm
and
just trying
shit.
to
He's
let
just
the
trying
listen-
to make it sound right that I went kayaking in the ocean. You're right, Trent. It was,
Look,
it was
I
the
watched
tequila,
Shark Week. I
okay?
won't even get into that much.
Well,
I don't play games with the ocean. Man.
no,
it
it's
scares
too
the hell out
fast.
of me.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I've never been on a cruise because I'm scared about being.
I-
Oh, it's
I would-
amazing. I love it. It's
I
my
would-
favorite vacation.
Is it?
You
She's
can order
been like 100 times.
You
Yeah.
can order 15 meals at dinner. Like if they got spaghetti,
That's how the all-inclusive
ribeyes.
is.
I mean, it
Yes.
don't matter. Like they think we're so
my-
redneck because my husband's like, "Y'all take a ribeye and the spaghetti and a lobster and the shrimp cocktail
I
and the
want one of
calamari."
everything.
I mean, we have
Yeah.
everything coming.
Yeah, I want one of everything. I'm like that too. That's
Yeah.
why I like all-inclusives because you can just.
I mean,
have your
Dania
pick.
is like you'll talk to her on Thursday, and then on Monday she's like, "Oh, sorry, I gotta get off here. I'm booking a flight to Jamaica," and I'm like,
Hell
"Jamaica,"
yeah.
and she's like, "Yeah, we're going for spring break.
Well-
just overnight,
Hey,
but
y'all-
she
you
will."
made it.
Well,
Like,
I mean, so
live
no,
your
I was
life.
married for a long time. I didn't ever go anywhere, y'all. I mean, like my ex-husband traveled a lot, and he was always gone. I was always in the house homemaking, and I loved homemaking. I'm not gonna lie, like I loved being a wife. I loved everything about it. I loved eating dinner and living that phase of my life. And I remember it, and I love it now. But I'm so fucking glad it's over. Woo! But no, seriously. I mean, I loved all of that feminine stuff that came along with that. What was was I getting at with that?
Jet setting, like,
Jamaica.
just
We're talking about
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
So
Yeah.
whenever I went through my divorce, you know, the first 2 to 3 years, which it's crazy because they were the hardest times. I mean, we lived in the middle of Hermitage, Tennessee, right next to Walmart. I mean, it's pretty much the hood now. You know what I mean? And my daughter was between the ages of 5 and 8 during this time. Dude, I don't know how we made it. And I had to pay daycare. How does anybody pay daycare nowadays? Like that
I
shit used to
don't
be like
know.
$240 a week. Now it's like $700.
Yeah,
like,
right.
you know. But those were the best days of her life. Even now, when she talks about it, she's like, "Mom, I wish we could go back to being broke." You know,
Yeah.
because everything was so genuine, everything was so
Right.
real, and it was just every day
The
by day.
community, like
Yeah.
everybody, everybody
came
had
together.
each
We had
other's
wine
back.
nights.
Yep,
We had,
yep,
you know.
yep.
But once I started getting back up and making a way and climbing back up and clawing back up and getting successful, I was like, man, I want to see some shit. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
vacations for us as a kid was, I mean, and Ashley, I don't even think Ashley got to do this, but like, dude, we left on a Friday, stayed at a Motel 6 for 2 days. By Sunday night, we was on the way back on the road. I mean, and that was driving to Gulf Shores where we could drive to the end of the beach where there was nobody at,
Right.
but my parents, so they could sit there and smoke dope.
Right.
And me by myself
Right.
playing in the sand. I mean, it wasn't like, so growing up and going through that, and I don't want to say going through that like I was poverty.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
No,
it
it
was
don't matter.
wonderful
You're still
times.
going through it, yeah.
But you know, once I saw my first trip was to Jamaica, and I think it was 2017. And once I first got out of the country, I was like, man, I don't really have anybody to share this with. You
Yeah.
know, I don't have a partner. But I do have this kid, and you know, so hey, let's ball out.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, I
And you
feel
always
like,
have with her, and I'm
Yeah,
proud of you
I
for
mean,
that.
if I'm in a successful situation, all my friends are. You know,
Yes.
if there's some perks coming into my life, I want to share that with everybody I
Mm-hmm.
love. It is very rare that you find people that have been friends for as long as we have.
Right.
And there's a few of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have a few of us from the same little town, you know?
Yep.
I don't see all of us.
But
doing
and,
good.
and everybody's doing good.
Everybody's doing great. And
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing because we grew up with, I mean, dude, we're talking about, I'd say 20% of our high school, like senior class, has either died or fallen off or
It's
succumb.
yeah, addiction.
Overdose.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and 20% is like light.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
I
probably
would
more
say
like
it's probably
40.
more like 40.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
because where we come from, there is no opportunity. Everybody's poor. There's nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
but drugs.
It's very rare for people to get out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even
Hey.
stay and make it through all of the
Mm-hmm.
pressure. You know what I'm saying? Because we all come from the same type of backgrounds. I mean, it's like I saw a post on Facebook the other day. Adrian's getting out of prison.
Yeah, he is.
Dude, a guy that
He will call me, y'all. He's been I've known him and his mom and my mama since we were our moms was pregnant with us. And he will call me randomly at the shop and be like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Who?" You know, because I live a totally different life now. Like
Right.
it's weird. And he's like, "Hey, it's Aaron," because that's what we called him. And I'm like, "Oh, hey, are you out?" And he's like, "No, I'm on a cell phone in the prison." I'm like, "Fuck, erase my number, erase my number." And he's just like, "What are you doing, Sharpie?" Because like to me, I'm familiar to him, but
Yep.
I forgot. No, I don't want to say I forgot about him, but like that's a totally different life from what I
Right.
live now. And that, but I go back and I go, "How are you doing? When are you getting out? When are you up for parole? Please delete my number so I don't go to prison."
Do not call my
If you start
business.
using
Yes.
it, don't show up this
Yes, because,
motherfucker.
girl,
you scare off my husband. We
I'll-
gonna fucking fight,
Yes,
Bubba.
I mean
Yep.
it wasn't right before he went to jail or prison this last time because the boy ain't been out but like a year since we've been out of school. A big 18-wheeler pulls up at the shop and I'm like, "Oh, who the hell's this?" And here comes Aaron and he comes running in and he's like, "I just want to give you a hug." And I'm like, "I didn't even know you were out." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going right back." But and he did like 6
No,
months. and
real
I'm-
shit. Like
yeah.
we were talking about this earlier. A guy that I would consider a brother. I mean, looked after me all through our teenage years. I kept up with, did a lot of time in jail, got out. And this last stint had been out like 5-6 years. But literally a year ago, I catch a call from a number I don't know. It's middle of the night. I answer it. He's geeked out. Shows up in my house with 2 cats and a fucking German Shepherd. Like I am legend, bro. And here's the thing. What's so messed up is like I've always told him, you know, I am a person you can always come to. I'll
Yes.
always be there for you. We are soul friends for life.
Yes.
You know, there were times when I was having a really hard time, you know, and he was there for me in different ways and created different opportunities. So I'm forever grateful. So he shows up at my house, and you guys, I've never seen him this way. And this is a man that my child grew up around.
Right.
And even she comes out the next morning to get ready for school, and he's asleep on the thing, and she's like, Mom, I don't feel right about him being here. I mean, that shit broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I'm looking at this man, the shell of a person that I once knew, you know, and I'm realizing he's not that person anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I took him, put him up in a room for a couple of days, did what I could do, took his 2 fucking cats, which I ended up keeping for like a year.
Right.
You know, and tried my best to forget about the whole experience, because the fact of the matter is I knew the next time I saw him, it was going to either be him being dead or getting incarcerated, which thankfully it's incarcerated.
Thankfully,
you know?
he's incarcerated.
I mean, some bitch ain't never getting out of jail now because he done went and fucking did it. But
Right,
I'll tell you
right,
what.
yeah.
But you know, and that's what we came up around, and those are the people that, regardless of what they've done or what happened in their life to turn them in that direction, doesn't matter. You still love them.
Yeah, and we're
You know?
actually thankful when people go to jail because
Hell
we're like,
yeah.
oh, they're gonna be saved.
At least they can do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I know more people that can do their time standing on their head. I mean, they ain't worried about
Yeah.
it. They got food. They got somebody to do their laundry in there.
And
like,
they're usually the best version of themselves when they're in there.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? They got
100%.
nothing but time to think about things. So
100%.
yeah.
That's their accountability.
Yep.
Doing
Isn't
time
it crazy
is their,
though how we don't judge them
Yeah.
or look at them weird? But my daughter and my son would be like,
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
or probably not so much Cole, but Emily.
You know,
would be
I'm gonna
very-
say this, and yeah.
People-
And I think we're coming from a place of a broken society, dude. We lost I mean, when you really think about it, the opioid epidemic or whatever, we lost our parents to it. It's
a
not
s-
something that came
yeah,
around.
it's
when
like
we
a
were in high
sickness to
school.
me, so
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
like
judge
the
it.
yellow fever.
I
and
don't
those-
judge it as
Yeah.
a.
Yeah.
As
Like,
an,
Yeah.
I mean,
you
I
know.
know it's an addiction, but I don't judge it as.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, they're sick. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, 'cause
And
when they're
that's
good,
why
they're
we're
good.
awesome.
It's just when they're bad,
Never had a
they're
chance,
bad.
right? That's the thing that.
Yeah,
really
that is
fucks me.
that is a thing with people, and then some people do have a chance, and then they just fuck up, and so let me say this, like, so I can't speak on the kids and all that, but like my husband doesn't understand like that dynamic of like family, and I'll be able to I'll probably be able to speak more on this like next week because I'll tell y'all later. But anyways, he's like, why wouldn't you just cut them off? And I'm like, because
can't.
they're fucked up, man, but they're still human, and they're
And
not
you still love them.
and they're not malicious. It wasn't
Right.
intentional, and it wasn't like it just wasn't. And I'll be able to elaborate on that later, y'all. But because good things are about to happen, but sad things are also going to happen, and it sucks for me because I have emotional ties to the people. He don't. He's just like, fuck that, you know, screw them. They did this, and I'm like, yeah, but I know that person, and I know that.
But allow me to say, I think that's where you get a lot of your strength from.
Yeah.
When you do have to cut a person off, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to do it, you know. And some people are exempt. Our parents, for instance.
Yeah.
I couldn't cut my mom off if I tried, never would, you know, our
Right.
family. But there's some people in our lives that do take from us, and it takes that partner or somebody that we
Speak
can
reason.
take to speak reason and use their affluence to teach us, hey, like, you're
because
not doing anything but
I can
enabling.
spin a sad story out of anything.
Man,
I
go
could be
looking
like,
for 'em.
Keela has this cup that everybody has, but she is so pitiful. I mean, I could spin a sad story. I could make, and I didn't realize I did that until, and I think that's just been growing up like this, where you're full of compassion.
One, you love the underdog. Too.
Yes, I'm a huge.
Let me.
Yes, the
Let
trauma.
me see somebody that has it fucked up, because I'll tell you what, I can show them how to get out that shit.
I know that's right.
I know that life.
And they about to
I
drag
know
my
it.
ass down right
Yep.
with
we gonna do it.
They
Or
do it every time.
They gonna
but,
drag me down like a motherfucker. I'm
Hey.
gonna have a bunch of wasted time, bunch of wasted
Exactly.
money. But hey, touche.
Hey, but you know what? You sleep at night.
You
Hold
do.
up. Isn't that what Jesus calls us to do?
Exactly.
That is.
And do you know what? I have to say that so much. Like a girl tagged me on Facebook today and said, 12 years, whatever. Her mom, we went to school with her mom. Her mom didn't raise her. Her grandmother did, or great grandmother. And then the great grandmother passed away, and she ended up with the mom, and the mom was not good. And so this girl, she was gay. And so, of course, you know, now it's more, you know, acceptable wherever you go.
Thank you.
But back then, you know, it was like, oh, she can play softball if she's not gay. Like, well,
Right.
she's not going to not be gay. So she lived here, there, and everywhere. And I would bring her home, and and Hagen would be like, she can't live here. And I'm like, I know. But I would go get her, and she'd have a fight with her girlfriend. And then all of her shit would be laying out in the, you know, and I'd go get her and whatever. And I told Hagen, I said, you know, you have to invest in people, and sometimes you don't get it back, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, if they end up homeless and they're on the streets and they're like, shit, nobody gave me a chance, maybe they'll think, well, maybe, you know, Ashley did. And I don't even want to say that that's like a hero complex. I'm not trying to get like a hero complex, but like, if you only got that minute of love for me and you felt loved, that's all I want.
No, and I feel like we live off those blessings too. Because
For sure.
At the end of the day, like, man,
You know what my daddy says? We gonna be blessed.
well, and you get I get so much love and accreditation for shit I do not talk about.
That's
There
right.
are, you know what I'm saying, and that's so real because
Oh,
when
yeah.
when you have things on people, or because my friendship is solid,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit how we fall off. I'm not gonna talk about you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna talk
she's
about
not.
your
She
business.
she won't.
I'm not. You know, whatever you told
She
me.
won't even talk shit about our other friends when I want to talk shit about them. She
I
won't
mean,
even.
and I
She
will, but we
like.
ain't gonna have it on the
well,
damn
wanna talk.
podcast. Man,
No,
what the
I'm
fuck?
talking about
I'm just
like
joking.
she always is like I am saying this for real. Like you are one of those people that like I would not never have to worry about you walking out of a room and talking about me. Like you're just one of those people. Now, 10 years ago, I was one of them people that was going to. I'm talking shit. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, and I think there's a lot of growth in age too, though.
Oh yes,
you know,
and that's why when
like,
I apologized to the one friend, it was like now I realize that was immature and like okay, my feelings got hurt. I should have just said my feelings got hurt instead of
Right.
like losing a friendship over 20 years. But now fuck you because you said you don't accept my apology, whatever. You gonna have to call me before I call you. But anyways,
now my ego done got involved,
exactly.
bitch.
Yeah, because Barbara Jean don't get slapped in the face, but once. Okay, so anyways, but you're the real deal. Like.
Well, I
You're
appreciate
one of those people that I knew when I called you and said you want to be on the podcast. If it wasn't this week, it was because you had something you was going to be on.
Oh, yeah,
you're
for
just
sure.
one of those really genuine people.
Well, and this is therapeutic as hell. Like
Oh.
a lot of this stuff, I don't even. You know,
That's why we do
like,
it.
Nobody talks to me about it. Opening up certain things and certain discussions. I mean, especially with somebody like me, because I truly do bad things that happen. It's just kind of like you kind of push them out of your mind
Mm-hmm.
and keep on going.
you're very resilient.
So you know, opening up that ability to open up this decorum and this discussion and stuff and have a sense of humor and and it's super therapeutic. I mean, that's
Because on
Well, that will be $59.99.
Exactly.
And we
So
take
we ain't gonna be-
do you have your card? Because
Venmo,
on the way
Cash
up here,
App,
I was listening to Leanne Morgan,
and I even
and
wore my glasses.
she was talking about laughter, and someone said, "Isn't it in the Bible?" And she said, "Yes. God promised us joy, and laughter is the best medicine." And it really is. Like
it is.
me and my sister laugh all the time at work. We're laughing, and I'm like, "That's probably why I don't get sick as much as my husband because sometimes he's a punk ass bitch and he don't like laughter."
So
Not
y'all
really.
met Jessica. Y'all met Jessica?
Yes.
Gotta tell you a story
Love
about
Yeah,
it.
this is a
Jessica.
short story. We're gonna wrap it up and tell
Yeah,
the
we're
story.
gonna wrap it up. We gotta tell you a short story. So back when we was 17, we went to Outer Limits for teen night. Which
Oh,
was a
boy.
wonderful place where they played juvenile, back that ass
Oh,
up,
yes.
uncut all night long.
Okay, well, let's talk about what everybody wore.
Okay, well we wore next to nothing.
But I wore.
This little bitch looked like Little House on the Prairie.
Yes, I had on a
She
limited
didn't have no new
two.
clothes.
Limited
Be
two.
like, okay, Laura Ingalls.
Yes, I called them. I don't even know where I got the phone from. Probably the neighbor. I called them and said, "What are y'all wearing?" And they were like, "Oh, nothing, just shorts and a t-shirt."
Do y'all know last week was the 50th year anniversary for Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Outer Limits.
No.
I was like,
I was just saying, play it, Jeremy.
Silverados.
So I wore because I actually worked because nobody in the fuck family worked, but I worked and I had bought me an outfit from Limited Too.
She had khakis
Ooh,
on.
Swaggy.
Yeah.
Yes, and a plaid shirt. They pull up in her
my
Mazda
God.
6.
Look
These
like
motherfuckers got on,
hoes.
yes, thigh-high boots. Damn, I don't have any of that because Barbara Jean don't let us leave the house
Hell
unless we're
no.
fully dressed.
Barbara Jean was in jail. Otherwise, we wouldn't have went to teen
Yes.
night. Okay.
I am mad as hell all the way
Hold
up there.
on,
Like,
hold
I
on,
know the
hold
fuck I
on.
don't look like. Leave it to Beaver's
Pause,
sister
pause.
over here.
Pause. So you had on full ass khakis.
No, yeah,
and a long
khaki-
sleeve.
No,
long
khaki
sleeve.
shorts.
like a plaid,
It was a plaid
short sleeve, like
yes,
button up.
from Limited Too. Okay,
Yeah, y'all-
Motherfuckers in there looking like
How old are y'all?
this.
16.
Yeah, we
Oh
had
my
I was
God.
driving. So I was 17.
driving.
I
Yeah.
look like Leave It to Beaver's sister.
She's up in this motherfucker.
I'm mad
so
as
mad.
fuck, okay?
And okay, so
Why
we
were you
have.
mad at them?
Because they look like hoes, and I
Okay.
look like Leave It to Beaver's sister. They told me they was wearing what I was wearing.
So here's
Then
the
they
thing.
picked me up in
It
damn
was me,
boots
her,
and shit.
and then
Another girl.
another girl, and she was like the prom queen of
Yeah,
our
she was the
class.
shit, the shit,
She
the
was
shit.
the beautiful one.
Yeah.
She was the Barbie looking.
She had
one,
on
right?
like a tube top
Okay.
and a black skirt with boots that come up to here.
So
And
a
y'all
bitch
were
Bitch, I'm wearing
16,
flip flops
15,
and a
16?
khakis.
Yes, yes.
Y'all are so.
Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah,
we were
not me,
alike.
not me. I look
not
like I
this
could
one.
I could sell you a real good fucking recipe for bread.
She was the real pioneer
Yes.
woman.
So anyway, so mind you, so we get to Outer Limits. We're out there. We're in the ship room doing our
Stop
fucking
it.
thing.
Yes.
If y'all remember the ship room, it was a great place. And this
Was it?
little
I'm sitting down
Mormon
because I'm
looking,
yeah, I'm Mormon.
looking woman
Like-
runs into the finest guy there, and y'all.
and
when
I think
say,
he's making fun of me. Okay,
No, he's so fine.
Yes.
We were all looking at him from afar, like.
And
he
I'm
was
thinking,
so
oh,
fine.
this motherfucker gonna come over here and try to make fun of me because I look like Leave It to Beaver's sister. I know.
Oh, no.
Like I'll fight him right here. His name
So-
was Skeeter, by the way. Go
Was
ahead.
that his name,
Yes.
Skeeter? So, like I said, Barbara was in jail.
Barbara's in jail. I live by myself again.
We got the apartment, the state apartment, to ourselves for the
Right.
night.
So it was
Okay?
the trailer park. They kicked me out. Now I had to move to Section 8 apartments.
Yeah, we were
but my
Section
brother
8.
was going to Arizona to pick up some pot so he could
Yeah.
sell it and make us some money, which he did. But go ahead.
So we're all staying at Section 8. Ashley meets this boy that is just beautiful.
yes. And I
his
think he's
friend.
making fun of me because he's got like a group of friends.
And
they're
he's
all
like, we want you to ride with us. He's driving a Lexus truck.
Yeah.
Who the fuck drives a Lexus truck
Right.
to the teen club? You know
I
what I'm
could have got
saying?
murdered. I
Like,
didn't care. I was going to get murdered in a Lexus, bitch.
She was like, I'm going. She basically told, we're like, Ashley, you don't even know that. She's like, I don't give a
bitch,
fuck.
if I die, I'm dying in a
So,
Lexus.
She takes prom queen looking friend because she had a cell phone. That
Yes.
was the only way we could keep up with her
Yes.
ass. And she was like,
And
the second
you had to take
prettiest and, you
kind
know,
of the
whatever.
prude home because she had to work the next day.
Yeah, the prude had to work the next day.
So,
She-
so all these guys say, I'm like, oh, I live by myself in Section 8 housing. And they're like, say less, bitch, we're on our way. So I ride with them. I don't even know where the fuck we're going because I didn't drive up there. So Dania leaves and takes the one home because she's got to work the next day. Me and
and I
prom
go back
queen,
to the apartment to
set
'cause
up.
She's gonna meet. We're meeting.
yeah, set up
Yeah.
with all these guys. So I get in the car with them and what was the cell phone company? It wasn't AT&T.
T-Mobile,
No,
Singular,
it was like
Singular.
MBI or MIT.
MT. I know.
MTI, TMI, ITM.
ITM.
Okay, his mom was the vice president. So
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
they
out
have
there,
money.
Skeeter, just
Yeah.
know I'm looking for
IBM.
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 Yes.
That's-
Yes.
Yes.
Old school.
This is 2000.
2000.
2000. Yeah. So
2000.
his mom is like the vice president of some huge. It's before cell phones was actually like a real thing. So we go into a gated community, and the house is like I can't even. I'm sure he's probably like he's probably P Diddler's like bodyguard or something now. But anyways. So he goes in and says, "Can I spend the night with a friend?" Because we got, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Because they're rich, they don't take care of their kids and they don't pay attention to them. So we go to another friend's house, and then we go to somehow we end up in some backyards scoring
Mind
some
you
weed.
guys, y'all, this is 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
We done got back to the apartment. They ain't there.
Yes.
So we're starting to bug
And
out. 'cause
I follow the rules. Okay, I'm not normally one to like
I'm
break
like,
the rules.
where did
Obviously,
they-
I'm wearing
who
khakis.
Did she leave with? And where are they?
Yeah,
Because they're not home.
We only know his nickname is Skeeter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And
we're
he's
just-
driving a
we're-
Lexus.
So we call the boys in the neighborhood because we're like, oh no, we done lost Ashley.
We calling fuck the
what are we
police,
gonna do?
FTP.
We calling everybody
FTP.
FTP.
We're like, get on the
Everybody's
orange,
coming.
boys. We're going.
So by the time Ashley arrives back at the house, she arrives back at the apartment about 4:30 in the morning. The whole hood's in the house.
Okay. Also,
Waiting for her to come home. I mean, we got all the guys.
okay, and I'm not talking about my neighbor, but she was about 4'8", and her eyes was crossed. Okay.
I'm 4'11", but
No,
guys,
I know. But like she had summer eyes. Some are going this way and some are going that way.
Stop it.
Okay.
That gets you.
Y'all just got the, I ain't thought about her in 10 years.
Well, she knows that I'm like living alone, and she knows that I ain't supposed to be doing this ratchet ass shit. So she comes out and's like, "Your sister's called," and I'm like, "Oh, it's fine." And the guy's like, "What?" He's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm like, "Okay, first of all,
Oh, no.
he made fun of our town because he said, "How y'all got some old ass cop cars?" 'Cause we had those
I just
square
peed on
body.
myself a little bit, you motherfucker.
We had square body Impalas. And this is in 2000. And he's like, what the fuck?
It's an
Where-
1896.
He's like, what the fuck is this Bayberry? And I'm like, you're not about to talk about it.
You ain't about to diss my shit.
And I said,
I pay $13 a month in rent, bitch.
exactly what I paid. And then he's like,
Exactly. What
and I'm like, first of all, that car don't run. That's not what our cars look like. They're actually from the 1992. And they're like, these kids are like, what the fuck? Where are we going?
They thought they went into the Twilight Zone.
Yes.
They were like,
So they
these are
walked-
Nashville kids.
Yes.
Okay.
They walk in and to the Section 8 apartment. Of course, all the boys is there for
Yeah, they wanna
FTP.
fight.
They got their orange on. They're ready. And then the neighbor comes out and she's like knocking on, and I'm like, oh fuck, and they're like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like,
So-
it's my neighbor. I was
So
like,
let's just skip forward here.
Where
There's
is
somewhere-
this? Is this
This is
Columbia?
at
No, it's Centerville.
Centerville,
Yeah.
Tennessee. So everybody falls asleep at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
And-
she comes
As one
in.
would.
if y'all
she's
don't
at
know,
home.
I'm a make out queen, but I
even
don't.
the neighbor with the summer eyes.
Yes.
I'm assuming so.
Yes.
Or they may have stayed up. I mean,
She
no
probably
one-
did. She
probably
called on
did.
us. She's the one called
Yeah,
on us. So.
she called Jess. Let me tell y'all. When I tell y'all Jess hit this house,
So I'm in the bed with this boy.
She's in the bed with
Prom
one
queen
boy.
is in the bed with a boy. And,
she's in the bed with 2 boys.
yes.
And I'm on the couch by myself.
No, you
being
was
the-
in my mama's bed.
being on the mama's bed. I was in Barbara's bed by myself, being
Yes.
a pretty little angel
I think
baby
I made you
was.
end up coming in the bedroom with me because I had 2 beds because, you know, we always have to have 22 people live in one house. So we have like
Yeah.
multiple beds. So I
Yeah.
made Danny end up sleeping in the bed with me so he would stop trying to make me have, you know, the nasty with him. Because I was like, no, I just want to make out. I don't do that. And he was like, bitch, I done drove all the way to Centerville. And I was
You
like,
about
oh,
to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And I was like, I
So
can't.
yeah, so me and Ashley slept in the same bed, and prom queen slept in your mama's bed with 2 boys.
I thought she was on the couch.
no, she was in your
Pull-out
mama's
couch.
bed because Jessica hit the house.
First thing in the morning.
I mean, we heard
Oh, your
that
sister
fucking
Jessica.
door open. So we got narked on by the neighbor, by the
Yep.
cross-eyed neighbor.
Yep.
We hear the door fly open. Mind y'all, it's like 8:30. We had just went to sleep.
Yes.
I mean, we had just, and we got these fine.
I mean, we're
boys up in
living
here.
the life of luxury.
Oh
like,
yeah, we're like by ourselves, whatever.
Yes.
Jessica hits that motherfucker. She
Whores.
runs in. You fucking whores! She makes her way through the downstairs, ripping shit. Mama's gonna find out all about this. She's gonna fuck y'all up. Goes upstairs, sees Katie in the bed. I just
prom
made it up.
queen.
Prom queen.
Yep.
Same.
She just sees
same
her
thing.
and the baby. She sees her in the bed, and she's like, "You fucking slut bag." I want to say she didn't have clothes on or something.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's why so Jessica fucking erupts, y'all, and me and Ashley are just sitting over here like, because we were in the bed together, looking
Right.
like little
Yeah.
angels.
And he was, my guy was mad as hell because he thought he was getting lucky.
Yeah, dude, that was great.
And I got his number and I called him like 100 times. I'm pretty sure they had to change their number.
that was great.
Please,
That was
this
good
is my
time.
ticket out of the Section 8. And he was like, no, bitch.
Married.
But yes. And then my sister was just like, you know, like me, just so dramatic. Like, I can't believe. And I was like, I can't believe the damn neighbor done fucking called. Like, I should have let them talk
Well,
shit
it
to
really
you.
sucked because
She's thinking, what about
she
my
was
friend the
so-
whore in the bed?
Yeah, I mean.
she was so responsible though. She
Yes.
really was. I mean,
And- But it looked horrible because, you know, we got all these guys here from, you know, I was like, he's driving a Lexus, sis. Shh, don't talk too much shit.
don't ruin my
This is
chances
our way
here. This
out.
will be serious. Oh my god.
But yes, that was our, like, monumental.
That was
And Mom
fun.
wasn't even really that mad about it. Like, of course, you know, I would be mad about it. But then Mom just, like, kind of scolded me when I got to. Because on Sundays we went and visited Mom. I'm sure Dania went too with her head down. And I mean, literally, my
yeah.
whole friend group went to visit Mom. 'Cause
With a sweater on.
yes.
Yeah, I definitely have my sweater on. I didn't fuck with Barbara like that. Y'all laughing. Y'all think it's a fucking game. One day we gonna be in here and the damn light's gonna start
Yeah.
flickering. And when that happens, I'm gonna be like, Barbara, I've been waiting for you this whole time.
Yep.
Y'all watch this.
And she's going to say, I knew you was a real bitch.
That's right.
When
and
I
I'm
went
gonna
to
say my
visit
sweater's
Mom-
in the car. I'll go get it right
Please
now.
don't
Do you
follow
see
me
my
up.
monogram?
Yes, it's monogram.
We done came so far.
Out the gutter we climbed. Like when my mom had always got the end sale, so there was bars all the way around it. So that way she could have, literally, she would have visitors all the way
So
around
can
it.
we please say she got the incel because she was a boss though? Don't fucking forget
Yeah.
about it. That incel was
thought she
warranted because
ran
you
it.
had the most visitor room.
Yes.
You had the whole corner.
And she would say, hey, go take his cigarette down to the guy that's putting pube hair in bags
Running
of
shit.
shit because
Running
he's having a
shit.
fit. No, I'm not kidding you. That's murdered his whole family. And Mom would say, go down there and give him a cigarette because he's acting up. And I'd have to go down there and be like, fuck. And like hand it through the bar. Like, I'm not kidding you. And
And y'all, this sounds crazy, and y'all think
Put it
that
around and flick it through.
yes.
Yes,
No,
it was
I
a
mean,
co-ed
I knew him. Like,
it was like the men were on this level, the women were down here, and it was two
but
levels.
if
and
they
that
had
was
like the
it.
real psycho people, they'd have to put them in like down there with the women. So Mom and them like pass cigarettes and stuff because it was just bars. And like he was friends with them, but he would like shit in bags and make people out of pubic hair. And yeah, I'm not kidding. But anyways, Mom would be like, run this down there, and I would do it because I knew him because, you know, Mom's. And now I'm like, Mom, he killed like 4 people, and he was a psychopath. And then he like,
And she says run it down there too?
yeah.
no dead ass. Like,
Yeah.
run it down.
That is
Like
trauma. Y'all
Yeah.
got real.
I mean, she'd have
ass-
Dania
So,
doing
I mean,
it. Like,
here's the
Dania,
thing,
go over
Trent-
back over there. and
Trent,
do it.
quit being a pansy. Damn.
You know, I mean, I like how Trent's aware though.
Yeah.
He's very aware.
Yeah, he
I
is.
never
I
look
just
at this as
wanna-
trauma. This was
Me either.
fun, bitch.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Made us
That's
tough as
fun.
hell.
Yeah.
That was a normal Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
It was. Sunday
Right.
was chow Day. It was visit day.
I'm telling you, all my
Take it
friends
down to
came.
the sociopath.
And I picked the paint off the bricks because if it peels, like I would like
Oh, I
hyper-focus.
know.
I loved it. And Mom would say, Ashley, they're going to get on to me because they're going to know you've been back here picking on that paint. But yeah, that was just, I mean, she'd be like, Danny, run this cigarette over to so-and-so because I'd bring her a carton of cigarettes. I ain't got a pot piss in her window to throw out of, but bitch, my mom didn't go without toilet paper
She
or
sure
cigarettes
did.
or
She
shampoo
probably
because you
ran
had to
the
provide
whole
all that
thing,
for
right?
them. But yeah, they were always there with me.
She was running shit, man.
Yeah.
Barbara was running shit in that jail.
Yeah.
It was,
So much so that we were talking about the other day, and Jessica said, remember when Mom would get real mad, one of the jailers, I won't speak her name, would come back there and say, Barbara Jean, what do you need? And she'd say, I'm going to need one. She goes, can I go upstairs and buy you one of them things? And so she'd go upstairs to the men's and buy a joint for my mama and bring it back down for her so mama could calm down. And let me tell y'all this is funny, and I hope I don't get disowned for this. So there was this jailer that I guess he took Xanaxes or whatever. Anyways, if Mom was real agitated because, you know, she was the devil when she was the devil, and she'd get real, and he'd shake a matchbox and he'd say, Barbara, I got you something. And he'd give her a Xanax. Well, come to find out, I freaking have a baby with his grandson, and his wife was the jailer that I would call and say, hey, Miss Margie, can I come up there and, you know, see my mama because I'm having a hard time? And she'd say, all right. And she'd go get her and bring her, because Mama was a trustee most of the time when she wasn't cussing the guards out, telling them that she's glad that they got their penis blowed off. She got laid down for 18 months after that one. But yeah, when she was a trustee, they would just bring her out. Then I end up like getting with her nephew or her grandson, and I'm like, oh my God, this came full freaking circle. But I was like, I swear I'm not as crazy. And she's like, it's fine. But yeah, I like, and even the sheriff would be like, well, we got to get her something to calm her down. Because it was like Andy Griffith, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mama was
it
Otis.
really was like Andy Griffith.
Yeah. It's like
was.
Otis.
Big
It's like, calm her down.
Yeah.
But the one time she did tell the one guy that she was glad that he got his penis blown off, they laid her down for 18 months and she didn't come out of that one. But
Later down? What does that
I mean, she wasn't a trustee anymore, and she had to do one day at a time. When you're a trustee, you get 2 for 1.
You get 2 for 1, so 50% off your time, basically.
Yeah, if you work in
2
the
days for
kitchen
every
or
day you serve.
she always worked in the kitchen or the laundry or whatever, and she would get 2 for 1. But when she got laid down, I mean, she had to do 1 for 1. So if she had 18 months, she had 18 months instead of 9.
I did not know that.
We had jailers bring our mom to our house for Christmas, like, and she would sit there with her for like 3 or 4 hours. And I don't know if the sheriff knew, but they would bring her. Like they knew, they always knew she wasn't a flight risk. She would never run. I mean, she'd always show up.
Y'all,
to
our town was so backwards.
So
and
backwards.
Looking at it now, I mean, even when I go back, it's hard for me to go back because, like I said in the first one, like, you know, I have some reserved feelings about that time of my life because it was very confusing for me. But even when I go back now, it's like, man, we're 25 years in the past. I mean, when I came back for your mama's funeral service, I went for Tony's mama's funeral service. I mean, dude, it's like stepping back into 2000.
Do you remember when Rawhide escaped jail, went to the Shell, got beer, and come back and got called to got it back in?
His name's Rawhide?
Yes.
I love that name.
Yes, and he is everything you would think he is. Rawhide, if you're
100%,
listening. He literally got
100%.
caught. He
Bro.
got out. He
I'm-
escaped,
I'm
went to the
dead.
store, came back, and they called
I'm
him coming back
deceased.
in.
Like, I'm not even here anymore.
Yeah,
Guys,
man.
y'all-
And
y'all
you know,
have-
but this is what's so awesome about all this, y'all. Like, nobody is putting the 2 on the 10. These are straight facts. I
Yeah.
mean, this is.
Oh, yeah.
This was life, and it
And
was a
y'all
way
are
of
breaking
life.
that cycle, so we should celebrate the
Yeah,
shit
I mean,
out of that.
100%.
I was gonna
You
say
seen
that
her
earlier.
Fucking kids.
Yes.
They look like little models.
I know.
Like, what the hell? You seen her kids?
And I say that about the guy that calls me from prison, and I don't mean that I'm like so much better, but I'm removed from that, and like I don't want to say I forget. I never forget where I came from because obviously it makes me who I am. But when he calls, it like I'm like, oh shit, like I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I can't talk to you because I'm better than you.
Right.
So I go back to like, hey, I'm
'Cause you're
still
real.
cool.
That's
Just you know,
real.
please
It's like
delete
you
my.
want to take it, but you're not going to go to work the next day and brag about it.
Right.
Like, guess
I'm like,
who called me?
Yeah, please
You know?
delete my number
Rawhide.
so when the prison
Rawhide.
guards get it. Yeah. So anyways, this was Dania. This will
Man.
not be the last time we have her
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, no,
because
please
it was
have me back.
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fun. I had fun.
We will do
Yeah.
this again and catch up. We have way more stories, and Keela
Yeah,
needs to
so
bring her
many.
friends on.
I know. I'm just intrigued. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Keela, this is the most quiet I've ever seen.
I
Keela.
know it is, and I said she's a persistent little shit, but she hasn't been tonight.
Well, I mean, it's hard
Nah,
to fit
she's-
anything
she-
in.
I like
my
to
mouth.
hear.
No,
It's
that's what we
how we
wanted. I
going.
wanted that.
Yeah.
I knew you were
Y'all
going to bring the
killed.
real and
It
the
takes
raw.
me back in time, and I'm just like,
Yep.
God, I'm not the only.
Yeah, because when you hear
Fucked
other
up
people's
one.
crazy stuff, you're like, shit. Like, okay.
Keela, where'd you grow up? Though? Like, you've been everywhere, though.
Everywhere.
Like you've been California.
I didn't know she was in California
I
for as long as
know.
she was
Yeah.
till today. Did you say 6 years?
About-
7
yeah,
years?
about 6 years.
How old were you then?
Like when I was in first grade to sixth grade.
First grade to sixth grade. That's
We don't have
formative.
time for you to tell the
I
story
know, but we gonna bounce back.
about the murder, but we will next week.
I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
Okay, well, you're going to tell it next week. Can you tell it next week?
Maybe.
They're all dead, right? Nobody's going to come back and kill us.
I know. I think I want to have that Arthur on.
Oh, I thought the author was dead. Oh,
No, the Arthur's
shit.
still alive.
Please don't sue us. We don't own the rights to any of these murder stories.
We haven't even
I don't even know how that works.
Author, you suck. Come get some. We gonna tell you fucking stories next week. How you like that?
You ain't got to buy the book because we about to tell you.
We gonna tell y'all everything.
You can't do shh.
Spoiler
Nothing about-
alert.
Oh my god.
Yes, we do have Keela has a murder story that we could possibly talk about next
Crazy.
week.
Cool.
She
Well,
wasn't murdered,
y'all
though.
stay tuned.
Yes, exactly.
Welcome back.
Grab your tequila and ashtray. You never know what you're going to get.
We're going to have them crazy 1080 girls on, Julie
Yep.
and Cassie.
Yep.
I talked to Brandon Hall yesterday.
You'll have to fill her in when we go outside about them because I just told her the gist. But anyways, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Remember, we can talk shit about our moms, but nobody else can.
That's right.
And we'll see you next week. Follow us on all the platforms. Tell everybody you know. Don't tell your preacher, probably, because you're going to get kicked out of church. But like your mailman, like, you know.
Don't contact my employer, please.
Right? Please don't. Yeah. If you go to a pain clinic, that's probably a really good place to. I'm just kidding. Anyways, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all next week. Is that it? Oh, my God.
Thank you for staying around for all of our crazy,
Be sure to like, follow, and share with everyone you know.
even them whores you don't like.
And leave us a 5-star review.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, bitches.